Hi, I'd like to talk about these earthquakes that have been taking place recently in Japan. Now, I noticed when I came to Canada a few days ago, I guess that's around the time when these earthquakes happened, and I noticed that suddenly all the people around me in my world started talking about these earthquakes, and I was kind of ignorant to the whole thing because I don't really watch the news on a regular basis. When I go to watch the news, it's more kind of like just like not a routine, but something I go to like it's a decision I make where it's like, okay, I want to check out what's going on in the world, kind of, and see what's going on in the news, kind of thing. I don't just get like a constant feed from the news every day. So I'm oblivious to what's going on, and all of a sudden, all these people in my world are just talking about this event that happened. And I find it really interesting because it's like it's almost as though people are so used to getting that um, normal feed of news and information, and are doing so in a way where there's such an underlying like trust and acceptance of what's being fed in the news feed, that they just take it on automatically, and next thing you know, everybody's talking about the same thing. Because that's what was strange, is everybody just, like everybody, wherever it went, all of a sudden it was, hey, do you hear about Japan? Um, so it just shows how easy it is to just put something out there in the media and the news feed, and all of a sudden that's what people are, focusing their attention and energy towards. So there's definitely that like underlying um, trust and acceptance, and it's definitely swaying a lot of people's attention and focus and energy again on like basically whatever point the media decides to put out there in the news. And that that's like that can be a real fuck up, because also I was looking at this point of what happened in Japan, and the casualties are like in the hundreds somewhere. I forget exactly what it is. And it's the way the information is contextualized, because these these natural disasters, they're happening more and more frequently now, but it's still not like an everyday thing where every day there's several natural disasters happening every day in every country all over the world. It's still not quite that often that these things are happening. And I find it contextualizes things in a way where it's like almost gives us like an underlying idea that like these big bad events that just happen sometimes to a few hundred people. But if you really look at it, like that's the bigger picture, I'd call it. But like if you look at the smaller picture, which is just what's happening in everybody's life individually all over the world, that accumulates into much more than these like once in a while events like the earthquake in Japan. Because I mean, just as an example, thousands of people die every single day just from starvation alone. The number is something like 20 to 30,000, somewhere in there, all over the world. And we never hear about that. That's never in the media, and therefore it's just like nobody talks about it. It's like it doesn't exist. So you don't have people taking that point of self-responsibility. It's just like there's such a massive trust and acceptance in like, however things is presented is just how we take and swallow it. Because again, the earthquake, like obviously it's awful that, or it sucks that, people are suffering from natural disasters, but like it's nothing in comparison to, again, the accumulative effect of like just everyday stuff that's happening all the time. Like thousands of people every single day compared to a few hundred people every once and again. When there's like an earthquake or a flood or something somewhere. Like it's not even comparable. I found that within also the same thing applies to like history. The way world history is presented and contextualized to us. Like they did that with the Holocaust and World War II. You know, giving us an idea of what is apparently relevant as like just this one, you know, this horrible event that's like kind of just like it happened just that one time a long, long time ago. You know, to totally give us an idea of what is evil, what is a Holocaust apparently, when really this kind of shit goes on every day. I mean, again, you can just use the example of starvation alone, where it's like the accumulation of that is millions of people every single year die from starvation. So the Holocaust is still happening right now, every single day, every single year. But our attention has just been manipulated and diverted in a way where it's like we don't even see what the fuck's actually happening right here. So, you know, that's definitely one of the things I started doing to support myself, was I stopped the automatic television feed. You know, like I didn't really watch TV for a couple of years around the beginning of my process, and I think it was just kind of getting out of that mode of just like automatic acceptance of, you know, how things are apparently in the way that they're presented and contextualized to us. It's really, really fucking deceptive. Alright, that's all I'm going to say for now. Thank you. Goodbye.